judicial notice and constitutional challenge to clerk of court, prosecutor, and presiding judge. From John Doe, a living man. Appearance, special appearance only, all rights reserved, UCC 1308. Notice and demand under Federal Rule of Evidence 2011. This judicial notice and demand is issued by John Doe, a living man, appearing by special appearance only, not submitting to any presumed statutory or administrative jurisdiction unless lawfully and fully proven on the public record. Notice is hereby given pursuant to Federal Rule of Evidence 21 and applicable state rules that the following are matters of law and fact. Hop Foundational Law and Authority. 1. The Constitution for the United States of America, 1787, Article 6, Clause 2, is the supreme law of the land. 2. All judicial officers are bound by Article 6, Clause 3 to uphold said Constitution. 3. The Florida Constitution, Article 1, Section 9's ta, affirms, no person shall be deprived of life, liberty, or property without due process of law. 4. The 5th and 14th Amendments secure due process and equal protection for all people. 5. Jurisdiction is defined by Black's Law Dictionary, 6th edition, as a term of comprehensive import. It concerns and defines the power of courts to inquire into facts, apply law, make decisions, and declare judgment. Jurisdiction must be proven, never presumed. Constitutional challenge and demand for verified authority. This document serves as a lawful and constitutional challenge to this court's authority to proceed without first proving, on the record, the following elements. A. Verified proof of subject matter and personal jurisdiction under Article 3 of the U.S. Constitution or corresponding lawful state authority. B. A verified sworn claim under penalty of perjury from a living injured party. C. A valid bilateral contract binding the living man, John Doe, to the statutes or codes being enforced, bearing full disclosure and lawful consideration. D. Affirmative proof that the court is not operating under admiralty, maritime, administrative, or commercial jurisdiction outside constitutional constraints. E. Full disclosure of the nature and cause of action, as required by the 6th Amendment, including the right to confront the accuser. F. Proof of lawful standing of the complainant or agency making the claim, including delegation of authority and first-hand knowledge. No contract exists. No valid bilateral contract exists between the living man, John Doe, and any government agency, department, or court compelling performance under corporate policy, statute, code, or regulation. Any claim of authority must be backed by a verifiable, signed agreement showing full informed consent and lawful consideration. Without a verified claim or lawful contract, no jurisdiction exists. Notice of Bar Association conflict of interest. Let it be noted that no officer of the court, licensed through the private bar association, may lawfully override the unalienable rights of the living man. No private organization has authority to substitute procedure for due process or statutory interpretation for lawful fact. Commercial framework and notice to cure. This notice is a non-negotiable commercial instrument issued in good faith and shall stand as truth in commerce if unrebutted point for point under oath and penalty of perjury within 10 business days. Failure to respond constitutes tacit agreement and admission that no jurisdiction exists, dishonor and default in commerce, violation of oath of office and fiduciary duty, potential civil liability under 42 U.S.C. Code 1983, Title 18, 2 Pari 241-242, and other applicable laws. Unrebutted, this notice shall stand as law and judgment in both private and public record. Failure to timely rebut this notice will result in a notice and honor and commercial default and may be grounds for administrative judgment or lawful civil action. Notice to agent is notice to principal. Notice to principal is notice to agent. Let the record reflect that this notice and challenge has been duly issued with intent to resolve any matter peacefully, lawfully, and in honor. Executed this day of all rights reserved, UCC 1-308.
First, let us pray. Let us pray. Give thanks and praise to the mystic laws of the universe and its protective functions and forces in nature that guide our thoughts and our path in all ways that are lawful, correct, and positive. We do give thanks and praise. That was our prayer, but most people might miss it. It is just as simple as that. When we pray, all we can do is just give thanks. That is it. Now again, we say freedom, free dominion, abbreviated. Let me rephrase that. Free dominion, free domain, abbreviated, freedom. Freedom, abbreviated, from free dominion, free domain. Salute Joel Jaguar. Now I'm on just there as usual. I chose to share some information. I hope the audio kind of clear. Now we say the colonial lies told by the foreign colonizers are being exposed by the sovereign men and women choosing to reclaim their sovereignty. Federal Rules of Evidence, Rule 101, Scope, Definition. 5. A rule prescribed by the Supreme Court means a rule adopted by the Supreme Court under statutory authority. Statutory authority are them legal standards, them legal codes, what them use alternatively as rules and regulations. Now there is such a thing as bankruptcy authority. And then we can be more formal when we say the Federal Bankruptcy Authority or the Federal Bankruptcy Code, just like how them have statutory codes. Now, I think even because we are learned, we're going to hear them talk out there. I man can safely say there is no law what them talk about outside of the Bill of Rights or the Charter of Fundamental Rights and Freedom. That's the only written law, only because it demonstrates where it's a binding agreement upon all public entities out there. Outside of those written law, them have what is known as legal codes. From the legal codes that it creates, the contract with them of the Constitution. So the legal codes that govern all of these things. This is why we say on a law, a contract. Why? Because of the stipulations, what I'm called terms, within the agreement that make the law. Now, the problem where most of we have to gain clarity is that the legal codes are there, but them also are used the federal bankruptcy codes, where the finance is concerned. And when I say federal bankruptcy code, them talk about something separate and distinct from government that are derived from the Federal Reserve System. Clarity. Separate and distinct from what them call government. And remember, by way of the Clearfield doctrine, you're going to see where them change up. So then what would I presume sovereignty as, abandon that area for the business, for profit or gain. Don't take my word for it. Do the research. Clearfield doctrine. Now, we have a term where them use out there, discretion. When you hear that by the judge's discretion and all of these things. You have two definitions we can present, but one really apply. The first definition would be being discreet. When I said discretion is like the quality of behaving or speaking in such a way as to avoid causing offense or revealing private information. That's when them use discretion in that specific context, then that's when you're just being discreet. You're not going to tell everybody, my business what I share with you. I mean, share my document when I tell us enough to share. You can just keep that to yourself. Now, the next definition would be the freedom to decide what should be done in a particular situation. Now, in this case, the second definition, it has said discretion really means the freedom to make decisions. So when you hear by the judge's discretion, you say that the judge is free to make any kind of decision. This is why me as a man challenge everything. Because me I say, who are you, judge? Did I agree where you can even come and talk to me as my public servant because you're a public entity which have to have a public bond and a public oath of allegiance? This is how I carry it to its core. I not play games on the outside. So when you say by the judge's discretion, it's just a boy him purport himself as God and can make any determination. Now, Mr. Bar Council Rule 5.1, responsibilities of partners, managers, supervisory, lawyers, law firm and association. A partner in a law firm and a lawyer who individually or together with other lawyers possesses comparable managerial authority in a law firm shall make reasonable effort to ensure that the firm has in effect measures giving reasonable assurance that all lawyers in the firm conform to the rules of professional conduct. So when we are talking about these things, we have said Bar Council, you have ABA, American Bar Association, you have JBA, Jamaica Bar Association, but all of them go back to the British Accredited Registry. All of them. Now we said B, a lawyer having direct supervisory authority over another lawyer shall make reasonable efforts to ensure that the other lawyers conform to the rules of professional conduct. We are not held by those standards only because, remember, we are not professional. You understand? Yeah, man, so we're not held by those standards. And we are the professional. I then take oath to do the proper thing out there. Now, C, say a lawyer shall be responsible for another lawyer's violation of the rules of professional conduct if, one, the lawyer orders or, with knowledge of the specific conduct, ratifies means gives consent to the conduct involved, or two, the lawyer is a partner or has comparable managerial authority in the law firm in which the other lawyers practice, or has direct supervisory authority over the other lawyer and knows of his conduct at a time when its consequences can be avoided or mitigated, but fail to take reasonable remedial actions, remedy remedy. So when all the court clerk up a Nantucket Bar Council, Donald P. Hart, keep going back and forth with Joel Jagwasi, it's obvious it's a personal, racially motivated act. It's outside of the scope of the rules that are there. You understand? And I'm going to present them rule because I'm going to incorporate it within this document I'm going to present to these foreign colonizers, just to give them clarity, just to direct them of their conduct and actions. Because we need no rush for the sue people. We are draw them out like how them draw out. And we are expose them out there, brawling, where the evidence itself shall be irrefutable. Because we are using their own documents, their own instrument to indict them. Because they know they are operating contrary to the supreme merchant law or contract law of the land. Playing the games over here, so with we. Really. Do not play them game there, because we are bring clarity a little bit separate and distinct from the ones them out there where only can regurgitate the slavery. You understand? Yeah, man, we like talk about clarity. We're going to move on again. We are saying, attention, Bar Council. Rule 11. Signing, pleading, motions, and other papers. Representation to the court. Sanctions. I think my left off sanction. I never need so much of that. Now we say A. Signature. Every pleading, written, motion, and other paper must be signed by at least one attorney of record in the attorney's name or by a party personally if the party is unrepresented. So like me, where always are my brethren Joel Jaguar were unrepresented by these foreign people. Your sister will sign those documents or will autograph those documents or will make our mark on those documents. And it's duly signed and sealed because we always attach our house seal to our instrument. If I man not present them information here for say, boy, don't take my word for it. Look up Rule 11, look up Rule 1.5, and you do the research. I'm not there to teach Babylon the law, because I know so them separate and distinct from such. What me there to do is highlight the rules that keep them in check and put them in their correct place as public trustees out there, public entities out there, public servant out there, where I am their boss, whether they like it or not, including but not limited to Andrew Holiness here on this island and Donald Trump over there on the mainland. This sovereign man of them God. They'll never admit it openly, but check them documents secretly and see if they're not safe. I'm not unique or special, you know. I just don't have a problem and express it this way. Because what me I do apply to every man and woman who choose to be free. Because the moment you choose to be free, that means that you recognize you're now become cognizant of the divine spark, which is that breath of life within you. And you know that these things is beyond these kind of ones out here within government. Way beyond their scope, way beyond their authority. And the difference that with what me I present, and me I say all always stay that way, all always stay this way. It's just the ones who become cognizant, apply themselves, and choose to express it. Yeah, man. Me have to say this. Me in a professional location take care of some business. And I'm familiar with the brethren. And me and the brethren I talk, but the brethren actually never recognize me, none at all. Literally not recognize me. That's even when me I talk, that's when I realize and the man like him, I say, why would I charge you this money? And you know, that's me I say, oh, you don't recognize me. And the man vividly not recognize me. I'm really feel a way. I'm not gonna lie. I get irritated. Like me, I say, you know, I need to leave. You know? Me, I say, yeah, well, little man, little and bigger man, Greenwich Farm, and you know? And it just click right there. The man, I say, oh, and everything changed. The man just take off his gloves and say, we're not family, man. You understand? So here the man to me, where you do bleach? Me, I say, bleach? No, I might just put some color in my ear, what I might call it, you know, ear dye. But, you know what I mean, it's eye. And then even I say, oh, a bigger that. I say, no, man, a little, man. I'm going to say, all of that for say this, say, boy, sometimes, we not, you know, we don't even know the energy where we are moved with, where, you know, where one see we, and with them alone can express what them are say. You know what I mean? Because through we are live. And we know that this is just the vessel. We are housed. You know? The truth where they will think with. So when you not hear it, and the truth is not hear it express. Yeah, man. So the vessel are just the vessel. It's just like you have your car, you gotta have people. When you see the car, it's a reflection of who them is. Because the car filthy. You go inside of the car, you can't sit, there's no space, filthy. It is a reflection. And then you go into them home, 9 times out of 10, it's the very same thing, filthy. Like the vessel where them a move around in. And when you see a one where at least make the effort to take 5 minutes, and when it's not perfect, them a make sure it clean or look clean. You can notice that the very same application them carry within them home. So I man always know say boy you have to always carry yourself. It not for brand new. It not for name brand, but just clean. You know what I mean? And proper. Now that would be construed as professional. That's all it is. And you take care of your health the same way. And you apply all of these little basic things to your life. And you're gonna be surprised. Now, I know people have issue when them see me I smoke my herb, I burn my herb, or I do my own personal private thing. I'm there to tell the ones and say complete gratitude for whatever concerns, but yeah, by now the ones that we know say we choose our path. If you want to live forever, you can. You understand? You see the car we're free. We choose to do whatever we choose to do accordingly. We don't restrict ourselves. When we choose to discipline ourselves, then think they are our choice. Absolutely no outside entity can pressure it for the nothing at all. In fact, we can speak outside there and influence with. Because we are present what we are dealing with for influence out there. Yeah, man, so now for know the levels. Now for know a man where when him burn him weed and talk and nonsense him a talk, because you got see live activity. Back up when him the nonsense when him a talk. A man like me, you hear me say, boy, me step out there without the government this and that. You understand? And do my thing. And government challenge me. And I know I win. I not ask if I win. I'm tell you now, when we get some money, because I don't want to mess around out there. And you know, me have to say, John, when I run out of money, you know, you have to go left the car this and later when we get back some more money. Cause these people now deal with it without you give them the bullshit slave. Because everybody a slave. No man not have no honor. No man not work with principle or dignity or integrity. They must say, show me the money. And me I say, I am that money. I just my signature. And them I said, no, we want to see the slave paper. So without the slave paper, I man can't do nothing. But you see, as soon as me and master me feel like me can just go over them place and say, yo, I want my thing and just got pay a tow truck. Because that the ball car then now can, you know what I mean? Put it on a tow truck and carry it straight to a body shop and just pay a man and say, yo, set that. And so when it's set, I'm going to see me up on the road. I'm going to have my own license plate. And a boy, nowhere, I can give me no talk. Only through I go through all of that. And when I get the strength, I go and say, boy, I want to sue you, I'm going to use my own money and fix up my thing. So you see the pussy will come in front about him and talk like him don't know me. I shoot him straight in the face. And I orchestrate, say, boy, anywhere him come from, that for raise. Nobody enough to live which part him live for them energy there. Why? I'm lawful in my capacity and I already demonstrate say, you know, I'm not criminal. So how not play them slave game with me. I think man I got us I take it every time. I tell you what me I gotta do, it's called public notice. Joker, you gotta find some resource and come for my things. I'm one of them. I have some man have some box. When I look on just how the man then deal with them thing, it impress me. I remember me now there I say I want a big Benz and these things. You know? Me I say I gotta fix up my thing. I'm never pimp that out. Yeah. I'm never dare any pussy out there where say them a public energy. Any boy. Never dare one. Because me I tell them say me now go ask them a question. They are judgmental. Brawling. You know idea how me I say them things. Why I think I can't say them things? Absolutely no repercussion. One of uno out there we are going like uno all of that. Uno try it. Uno try it out there and see what goes. Me I say that because I am he. I mean declare myself that man will represent what it is to be free. And me have the paperwork, the certificate of fact to prove these things. And I just start. And these things are unique to all gurus out there. All of them. I wonder if I have this document where I can just flick up and show the item. And I don't want to go search. You know, my mind I tell me so just to check. Anna, Ryan O'Neill, give me a second. The document here when man. People are going with themselves out there now, and true, me know them on newbie. Me just, you know what I mean? Me just easy. The document says Electoral Commission of Jamaica, a writ of affidavit of legal notice, cancellation of elector enrollment and registration, and the number when me do. This is when me I extricate myself from them Babylonian system. See it, yeah? People with no levels don't know what them think that mean. So politically, me not get involved. Me return these things, you know. And when me say me renounce it from the government of Jamaica, what is that? That little receipt that said government of Jamaica with the seal says September 20, I'm not sure if it's 6 or whatever, but 2021. And the one has a official receipt, client copy, application number, blah, 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 received from Linton O'Neill Dallas. This is the legal entity. You notice how them phrase them thing in an all capital letter. I wonder if me not techie in a rasta. Me have to deal with them thing in a little way so the item can realize and we play around here. When we say we will judgment, we do everything in our power to express ourselves on a joke thing. And when none on a court can present nothing in front of a man such as I, who is that superior court justice. This is who I am. Above all I every one I in my sovereign capacity as man. And the knowledge when we keep, and that disarm and that put in our place. I am the only man we're going at any court and unseat any presumed judge acting in the capacity as a referee. I do that. I'm going to do it over 100 times. Because I'm going to Jamaica court probably over 100 times. You understand? But them would never know these things. What me would have loved to say, I remember when the judge bowed to me in an arbitrary criminal court, the court is full. And me I said, me never hear nobody talk about it. But like a man say, me there in a court and this happened. And I know some of them people that must alive and one day them are going to hear me and I'm going to say, yo, King, me there in the court, a true you tell. You know what I mean? Until one of them officials say, yo, see it here, see the recording here, and I lie my tell. Why you think my talk certain way and the government of Jamaica terrified when me speak? Why? Why even now when me attack Andrew Holiness can't send no police to me? Because I know him I got held responsible for the judgment. We are going to reach them police, they're not just them personally, but them entire bloodline. Blood for blood, we say, but we not here way through when I run out from deal with it. When we know, say, boy, we have to do, it's like Noah. Noah won for about 1 million years. Another same energy that we want. You see, when anytime the judgment is, it's going to be justifiable. Naturally, ones out there commit treason, but the common colonized condition people can't express it. So again, see here, on a joke. So I know you have some man out there talk some things, I'm telling you, I do some things that is precedent. I've never been done before. I'm not brag. But just have to show the item say if the item link up with I man can share some information when I not see nobody else have me create my own approach using the very same information that is there. Brethren, part of me left out in the discussion with my professional brethren. The man I said, so why you talk like how you talk? This is, where my ear. But I realize from 2021 me pass through. And even before then, him never catch up. Because when me come out of GP, me go get my teeth and look at and thing. And then after that, I go to one different location. And I don't like the whole heap of little thing type of thing. So I always try to go back to my people. When I try to say, oh, me I go on like me proper and a twang, so. But when I understand, say, the little when know has evolved to something beyond what him can grasp. Because I not try pretend to talk like this. I can't help speaking this way. And I hit my reason with my brethren Jaguar say, warrior, step it up. You can't approach me and talk to me and I say, them do that. Don't do that. Because you have a document in front of you. Practice for read the document. So when you speak, you express yourself just like it's the document right there. That way, when you're there in the court, you don't have no issues. You don't have 2 or 3 or 4 different, dialects of the same language. Once we're not on the same page to communicate, there can be no communication. So when the warrior hear me speak like that, it's only true in clueless at the levels. He don't even know who I am really. I know him, I know. And this man are all brigadier stylers. And them man are the man them where them not conform per se and bend over to society. No, them man are always in fact them man are got Cuba to learn. So I get the eye them, you know what I mean? Salute Dr. Staple, Dr. Philip Staple. I think a temple hall, them have a mall, them have an area, a little plaza, real proper plaza over big mall the way I think the church people and plaza that. Very secure, I like it. So again, dentistry or oral hygiene technician, yeah, Dr. Philip. But one thing I can say, I go there and him never there. I work with a brethren and I wasn't satisfied. But I can't complain because I'm a professional and them treat me real exceptionally well. So I just wait a few weeks until Dr. Philip come in, and when Dr. Staple come in, the man just deal with me pristine. Pristine. The only thing is I think him exclusive because I tell him some more come back for another clean through me always a smoke and thing. So he must say, no, I got there. So I realize I have to go make some appointment for as soon as him get in. I just catch him because them kind of, say, high demand professional. They have to make appointment and then man they have to fly in from Dubai and fill your appointment time. Have to fly out again. So I like it. Forgive me. Again, the renunciation document is before Jamaica independence, before Jamaica government remove the people from the Commonwealth area or the land and take them in their political constituencies. So this supersedes these foreign ministers' office and anything what these public entities as my servants can do. So I'm gonna work like how you guys out there operate. And this is called a certificate of fact. unrebuttable in absolutely any court. Whether it's on the mainland, whether it's in England, where on Jamaica, know me at the bar. See that? Remember me tell you about the passport, my Jamaica passport? Eh? Yes. But the them just not comprehend. Show me the first man to do these things. You understand? So the Governor General examine and record of authenticate my thing and know say the boss there, but don't make nobody know him. Him too out there. You understand? So a lot of guys out there, especially some of the ones them where just meet me and me I listen and I look at some of the things and what them I do. Me I tell them I say, I commend the eye them and I respect the eye them and thing. That's why me I say, if we can come together and I show the eye them what me I deal with on that side, it can help. And then some of the eye them have the little, what I'm gonna call the procedural legalese techniques. Me no mind I learn. That's why I like TikTok. Everybody born TikTok, but me know say TikTok have one good area where good people do good things around there. But according to your level and your frequency, if you're not on a high frequency, you're gonna find yourself in a low IQ area TikTok. Because I'm gonna meet some warrior talk, some whole heap of powerful, positive thing. I'm gonna share a document, this challenge of jurisdiction and constitution. A TikTok it come out of. You understand? So again, I say good and bad everywhere, and true we align ourselves with truth, then naturally we're aligned with good. This is why we say righteousness, my clean hand and my pure heart. I not plan for come do this and do that, no. But if you come at me and me have to preserve myself, don't complain. You get me? You can't complain when you get the judgment. It don't work that way. You know, come get trouble, and when man give the judgment, you say, boy, oh, him wrong cause him judgment, you pussy. You are the initiator of the dispute. And as such, you're in dishonor. That means that your head get separated from your body unapologetically and will line up your family joker. Because you're under oath. Joker in a play with oath. And I hear me telling you these things, and I'm not take it serious. You think a joke? Now, for the rest of ones them out there, them things are contractually binding. And them things are, when me all walk through big bad Spanish town, and then where me walk, you know. Everybody look for me like, how would an alien brother them? You understand? Police always are driving at them unmarked car, me can just bet out them are dead with laugh when them see me a step. With my documents there, sir. In other words, don't trespass. And this is when I get the brethren when they take for my car. That's why I know so them can't get out of the way. All different kind of claim what I can place out there. But that's another issue, my people. The issue is to bring my people up to a level for comprehension. Watch out now. Because they colonize them trick you. And I give legal codes, guise as law. Meaning it's only the look-alike. It's the color of, but it's not the actual, factual thing. And maybe I have to bring that clarity there. So when them talk about law, check them again. God can't issue law. That means that we have to agree. There must be a contract, and contract a meeting of the minds. Not you make a presumption. So we have contract. The moment you try that, again at the guillotine, you bring a fictitious claim upon the court. You purport to be an injured person or an injured party when you're not. All police officer place unverifiable witness statement upon the court. Why? Because the witness statement is never certified. And them do that intentionally. Meaning, it's never, you know, say, declare under penalty of perjury, placing their liability, both legal and commercial and financial liability on the line. No police office, in fact, no public entity do that. Why? because it's their strategy. Once them not do that, whatever liability or responsibility is transferred to the federal bonding company, and express them thing that out there clearly. So this is why a man like me we can say, hey, little youth, little young constable, it's because you put the witness statement in there, say you are bring a claim. Notice, you know, your boss, the senior sergeant, A. Edwards, all him do, him not sign nothing, him not put nothing, him name is just another document, but you, young constable, are you then put out there. So I would have to bring a claim against you plus your employer. You understand? And when me I bring a claim because me a sovereign man, free man, me never can make no petition to no foreign court in them foreign jurisdiction. You understand? Me, I gotta make a presentment what we call non-judicial process or commercial affidavit process. Some would have deal with you and you can't escape. Just like how we are taught, you gotta underestimate it. You understand? And you're gonna go in a default. And we're going to have enough evidence now, enough substantial evidence to carry to the Attorney General office and demand charges be brought upon you know, then because of the information we keep, we will carry it right to the point where we are violating a constitutional oath, which means it's treasonous conduct, treasonous actions. That's why we always present so much information out here. It's not a game, but some people think it's a business. When they just talk the bullshit talk, every day they start the same bullshit talk, and you're not credible. How much of these so-called judges have you personally interact with? When I can show you where I affect the public record, you can't do it. What's wrong? Because the approach, my lord, you can't be a slave and not go on like you're free man. It not work that way. Are two separate and distinct areas. Just like how now express public and private, it's the very same way. Lawful and legal. Yeah, man. So, boy, I have a whole heap of information you have to touch upon. You know. But I just get back to Bar Council Rule 11, signing, pleading, motion, and other paper. Now it has a signature. Every pleading, written motion, and other paper must be signed by at least one attorney of record, what that means, in the attorney's name, or by I. So when them joker they over there, so them up on behalf of the state, the Attorney General office better depend there. Or any one of these people where subscribe them oath and can say, yeah man, we were appointed or we were elected. Yeah man. Then so the paper must state the signer's name, the signer's address, the signer's email address, and the signer's telephone number, unless a rule or statute specifically state otherwise. Now, a pleading need not be verified or accompanied by an affidavit. Hear them said? The pleading no need not verification or affidavit. The court must try an unsigned paper unless the omission is promptly corrected after being called to the attorney's or party's attention. In other words, if the document out there and it's unsigned and verified, then they can't work with it. We look at B, again, Rule 11B. Representation to the court by presenting, me always talk about presentments, by presenting to the court a pleading, written motion, or other paper, whether by signing, filing, submitting, or later advocating it, an attorney or unrepresented party certifies. Notice them say the word certify. You got to see what the meaning of that. Certifies that the best of their persons of the person's knowledge, information, and belief, formed after an inquiry, reasonable under the circumstances. Number one, it is not being presented for any improper purposes, such as to harass, cause unnecessary delay, or needlessly increase the cost of litigation. Number two, the claims, defense, and other legal contentions are warranted by existing law or by a non-frivolous argument for extending, modifying, or again reversing existing law. That's when them turn it back, or for establishing new laws. Now again, you know, them thing you have the rule where prescribed for when you deal with a court, any kind of presentment in the court. Number three says the factual contentions. The contentions meaning the dispute were out there. Have evidentiary support. You have to have the evidence, like for them documentation, where they're going to give you just turn it back on them and use it and indict them. If specifically so identified, will likely have evidentiary support after a reasonable opportunity for further investigation or discovery. People now forgot to play about the tape and get into this thing. The denial of factual contentions are warranted on the evidence or if specifically so identified or reasonable based on belief or a lack of information. The item can research Rule 5.1 and Rule 11. And the item can incorporate them. Well, through me have my clients them on the mainland, because me as a man work from an international perspective. But I'm also cognizant that Jamaica, in them federal capacity, these very laws apply. Because remember, Jamaica government operate under the federal bankruptcy code system. You understand? So it do apply, but you're not gonna know it. You can't know it. That's why you play games, Mickey Mouse games, and people are gonna ignore you. These court people crushing them because them totally comprehensive. On improper, you know, on not have no standing. Yeah, man. A court generally cannot dismiss a document solely for lack of form. Courts prioritize the substance of a document over its precise form. That's why we said, yeah, substance over form. They are generally more lenient with procedural error, especially if the underlying claim is meritorious or praiseworthy. In the case of Graham versus Graham, the Court of Appeal, that means them go through the process and have to take it to the High Court. Noted that while service of a claim form is required, the court may, not shall, optional, may exercise its discretion. Remember me telling you the definition of discretion, where them have the right to make decision. Its discretion and dispense with the service, dash it where, in exceptional circumstances, such as when the claim form was not served at all. So because I don't know them legal process and I don't bring a claim form, it is no excuse for them to ignore my documents. However, we make an effort by notification, say boy, notice of service. So at least we are say, watch you know, we present these things. We might not know on a fancy process and we don't have no interest in that. Because I said, if me and you don't have no contract, what you do? It's called public slavery and we not accept it. That's all it is. Now we have an enabling act, noun, Enabling act is a statute empowering a person or a body politic to take certain actions, especially to make, listen carefully, regulations, rules, and orders. Remember our Jamaica 1962 Order of Council, where they present a constitution where until it was amended, then it became the proper law. Because while it was unamended, it was there under the British thing. But once we amend it by way of our little local parliament, it becomes the proper law where govern the land. You understand? And then the very same legislators allow, you know, say the executive areas to create them political agency and totally usurp the citizenry, remove them from their sovereign capacity and place them inside of what they call them citizenry. So you can either be a sovereign, meaning a free man, or you are a citizen, meaning you're enslaved. Them thing have clarity where people have never probably conceived. I'm going to give thanks when the Messiah used me as just that instrument for bringing it forward. We talk about honorable clarification. Look it up. That's a legal term. Now, we said the various enabling acts contain differences in phraseology in their description of the courts over which the Supreme Court's power to make rules of practice and procedure extends. So even when you say the inferior court, all of them take order from the superior court area. Now it says the act concerning civil action as amended in 1966 refers to the district courts of the United States in civil action, including admiralty and maritime cases, including admiralty 1 and maritime cases 2. Now, you can verify these things in the Title 28 USC, Section 2072, and we'll look at Public Law 89-773, Section 1, 80, Stats 1323. Now, we'll go on to say the bankruptcy authorization is for rules of practice and procedure under the Bankruptcy Act. Again, Title 28, USC, Section 2075, Public Law 88-623, Section 1, 78 Stat 1001, forgive me, Stats, 78 Stats 1001. Again, bankruptcy authorization. I deal with rules of practice. This is why you have the attorney them a practice. And procedural, this is why them I use the procedural area where them can give you psychological evaluation under the procedural act. While the substantive area is where the common law sit down, where them have no authority to do that. So when a judge I give a psychological evaluation, it's because he might administrate you as that legal entity, because when I get it, I was not aware of the law, and when me find the law, I bring it out there and challenge Chief Judge Chester Crooks, but I really want to put him in a bind. Because me I tell you, excuse me, he's a respectable brethren, even though he might work on the other side, but he more deal with the law, because I'm in a criminal proceeding after 3 court. Me and him interact, opposed to the inferior area around at the traffic court where some little resident magistrate purport themselves like them, you know, is all of that until them run up in on me. So yeah, man, when a man give psychological evaluation, I told them I deal with them a propagate public slavery, because them not have no authority for that, really. Especially if you now act boisterous and is a danger to yourself or others. If you just express the truth where you have or your opinion, then yeah, instant warriors out there. Now again, we talk about the bankruptcy, United States, all right. The Bankruptcy Act in turn creates bankruptcy courts of the United States district courts, including on the island, and the district courts of the territories and possessions to which this title is or may hereafter be applicable. And the title would be Title 11 USC subsection 1, 10, and 11A. Now, it says the provision as to criminal rules up to and including verdicts applies to criminal cases and proceedings to punish for criminal contempt of court in the United States District Court, in the district courts for the district of the Canal Zone and Virgin Island, in the Supreme Court of Puerto Rico, and proceeding before the United States Magistrate. So them I talk about these islands where is a part of the federal construct. Now, I share them information here and I say, listen, sometimes we hear words and true we don't have the clarity, we just beat up ourselves. So I'm one of them man that will love us say, yo, take on the time and look. Take on the time and look. If everything operates in a bankruptcy, we want to think of going. You understand? And why them demand all kind of things when all them need our endorsement? We secured endorsement. We have to publish them knowledge, especially upon this level with this kind of clarity, not the nonsense game where ones are choose to play up there. Now we say Rule 707B, action. 707B action is defined in Chapter 7 of the United States Bankruptcy Code as a motion by the court, by the United States trustee, by the trustee, by the administrator, or any party in interest to whatever the action is. So now here we go on. I remember, when they are talking, our local people say, but King man, Jamaica, where they are, Jamaica law we deal with. Me I say, yeah. But the Jamaica government, we are deal with I deal with a foreign trust, which is these federal laws. Because the Jamaica trust have an era where it's an excluded body, meaning the government of Jamaica is not a part of the Jamaica trust, meaning them now operate with the fundamental rights and freedom from that Bill of Rights Charter for Jamaica. This is why when we speak, them go back a class and them re-collaborate and do all kind of things. Because them tell me, say, boy, them don't know what it is about me. Every time me speak, it's like class. And when them go do the research, them just amazed, surprised. And I say, how him keep it? And him burn so much herb. Oh, I am he, naturally. And all who not hide me, all who not ignore me, all I want to do, can't stop me. God is truth and light. Yeah, man. And truth sovereign out here. It make me authentic. And I know nothing external. Everything will me manifest from within. Naturally. Autodidactic, self-taught. Now, I'm going to look at a term named trustee, because we have a lot of ones where tell me say trustee and where as if me are some kind of little naive little boy. Joker want to see me out there. Me are the man where bring the clarity and make sure that change is make in the earth. You understand? You know, you can tell me say because me use the term executor. and trustee interchangeably, and you not have the clarity, you try correct me. No man. Listen, me give thanks for you. God, this is how me now we give you clarity. This is why I say we have an estate in trust. The trust cannot exist without the estate first. So if the estate is in trust and the estate is usually operated by an executor and the trust is usually operated by a trustee, and we're in a trust agreement, you're going to have the trustor or the guarantor, and you're going to have the beneficiary, and you're going to have the trustee. The moment our parent give this government here our birth record information, the government as the recipient becomes the trustee naturally. A trust has been created. And the offspring or whatever it is from that grantor, them are the beneficiary naturally. You understand? Now, because you now are the beneficiary or grantor beneficiary, you can have some talk, but at them are the trustees, so you just tell them what you want and them supposed to do what you say. They're not supposed to direct you and transfer your inheritance to themselves, making themselves the beneficiary, like what them do with the federal social contract or account area where them always want fleas. In other words, with the suretyship agreement, with the suretyship birth certificate. Jamaica, our birth certificate is a birth registration form. It also is a certification of vital record. So it is the live birth record form. One does not understand it. I talk to people here where I do some things and them I say them send for them live birth certificate and all the, and when them send it to me, as I look upon it, I see the nonsense where the government that try to do, because the documents clearly state at its heading as a Registered General Department. And from me see that, I know that a nonsense after the de facto area. However, that piece of paper have absolutely no value to you, really. The only value is that bond instrument, that pretty paper, that's the value there. That's the legal entity. And in our location, that document has merged itself. It is expressed out there. It's an express trust. Why? Because the registration form and the certification merge together. Watch this now. One part is a guarantor, where ensure the solvency, and the other part, which is the debtor part. So when you hear me say it like this, if you do accounting or principle of business, you're going to realize that it's book, ledger, a go on. You understand? And them have a style where them call it accrual method of accounting, where them have the books. They have credit, and debit, and you know what I mean? We can go into that next time. But just have to try to show the items that underestimate the level of intelligence when we're out there. And I not necessarily I got just keep dumbing myself down for try to express things to people where clueless. Because I tell you, the first step we have to make, boy, is renunciate. Before you even renunciate, you effect the public record. So you got to go in there and assume the role of executor, and you got to have your seal, and you can't use no notary, you can't use nothing, and you are establish yourself with your authority. I want to talk about real property and personal property, but I want to see if I can show that document here, since we're there. Peter, a document I use Notice this document, it not have no notary public, it not have no, what I'm call it, justice of the peace, it not have nothing. It just have I out seal and I initial. And see it here, it was placed on the county recorders area. All right. All right. You understand? Me have so much different experience with these things and these people. They are them wouldn't, you know what I mean? They are them now go imagine that. Because me I tell you, say, you know, and I just walk in off of the road and go do certain things. You have keys. If you don't have the keys, you can't get in. You cannot get in, and you can ask any one of these people, especially upon the island, because I talk to some ones where I say them want to do this and that, and you know, people now allow them to do these things. I'm smile because me I say, you know, I just the knowledge and how you choose to approach. You understand? Yeah, man. So there's a lot of things we go on without here, man. But and it published and Babylon have these information, but them not, hey, they're gonna tell you say a national security when you can't get it. That them gonna tell them. But it's there. Just like when me go in a court, me just walk out. The only time them arrest me are when Chief Judge Chester Crooks give me psychological evaluation because I asked him who he is. And all he did supposed to say, I am Chief Judge Chester Crooks, such and such and such. That's it. But you know, when you think you all of that, you understand? I'm going to take issue with that, but I know, say, because in the Daffy acknowledge me at one point, I know Fame wants them with mouth him and pressure him. So I guess a Fame way for give me some hazing and call it a get back. In fact, when I come out of court, him send him security, bodyguard, and say, well, you have any way to get to him? And me I say, watch me now, I don't even know him, I probably have to go walk from here, so from upper Alpha Tree, go over Portmore. You know, if you mess with me, me just walk. Yeah, man. Summertime, man, me just say, no worry, me walk. And you know, so Chief Judge Chester Crook send him, the same security, come back to me with $1,000 and I say, boy, that must can't jump on a bus. And I just laugh and say, give thanks. But when we come out of court, Iron Eagle and our people, and they already they're out there. So I'm tell you, even though more time and me alone, we have to push and thing. You have some ones where them now left me out still. Me I tell you, I just pop and when I look, I just see them, I just smile. You know what I mean? Yeah, man. I man really appreciate them ones. I mean, I left them out neither. That's why me I try so hard to get to a level, because enough of my warrior them not up like the ones them we see out there. You know? Them have to go through adversity straight. 1 minute everything good, the next minute it crash. And you understand? And you know, and supports. And then you don't know, when it lick you too hard, it will lick your chip. You understand? So I'm gonna have to day more time I chant out here just to be that. You know, say hope for some of the ones that must seem hopeless out there. Just to be that motivating force or source for someone who can't find it nowhere else. You understand? And then me no mind I go on with myself and entertain my ones and then laugh. Boy, people, me have a watch here, but you have a think on it, the bezel kind of break. My view on a really dead, my battery dead, you know. I'm a bezel break and then it look like it drop a ground and I sweep it out. Me always a sweep and I clean, you know. But true is a gift and I never get it like home would I normally get gift in the box where you can see instructions and if it for fix you can know which part I forgot to fix it. Right now, I just have to wait till you know, I find myself in a place uptown and just ask them and pay them to do these things. When me I give you a gift, no you know what me pay for the gift, you know. Because true, me now again a fuckery, you know. I could remember back in the 90s when I there foreign. And Simone, my little cousin, one of my little favorite cousins. She's a big woman now, write all book and thing, you know. And it was her birthday. I think it was her 16th birthday, something like that. I don't remember if she was that old, but yeah. And when me hear her birthday and thing, through me always go slip through the store them and thing. But just run go to the store and go buy a nice little watch fair and gear. And it was just a nice little watch. Because through these are the things. Me used to wear a Fendi watch. So I buy a nice Fendi watch. I think about $200 I pay for the watch. And it was a big deal. You understand? So me not give a fuck when me go give. You understand? I'm want you know say watch you now. I'm not petty. You can't give me gift. I mean I know the value of the gift. I know, you know, it's like yeah, give me a gift and it's like it's a Chinese man, you see somewhere and just buy that and wrap it and come give me. And I'm sure that's not the case. You get me? So my brother, a foreign, just know when you deal with me, man. I don't know you know my things. Yeah, my brother. Alright. But I just say all of these things to say, watch out, man. Everybody are the same. And more time in the presence of certain ones and you know, you deal with them ones like how you deal with everybody else and you pay for that fuck. You will. Because you're going to realize eventually, say, hold on, this one here is not like everybody else. So the approach has to be different. The communication has to be different. The interaction has to be different. Has to be. And when you can't see it and know it, then it naturally disappears. So earth running at people. That's why I like to talk about moment to moment. Because I'm sincere in what I do. You understand? Yeah, man. So when it comes to its fruition and done, then that's it. We give thanks and move on. But we're sincere, man. Yeah, man. And that makes we rare. No bragging, no capping. We are telling us, boy, I see the standard here. And we are the standard bearer. But true, we not compromise with them, can come sodomize we and buy we out or whore we out. Then ignore we. You understand? And we don't mind that by their ignorance, it secure we. Yeah, man, it protect women. And it maintain with authenticity. So we stay authentic that way. Anyway, I'm going deep in my 1 hour mark and I wrap it up higher. Yeah, man, I save some for later. But we just bring a level out here where don't underestimate what we don't know. Now, don't open the mouth and speak a certain way when we're not going to be able to clarify, verify, validate it, or even back it up. I am saying slavery is extant. Me call it public slavery. You understand? This is when some people are compel you to obey them without them verify so them have the authority to do so. That's slavery. Don't think it's been abolished. No. You are experiencing it, but it's unknown to you. Because you're colonized. We're all colonized. You understand? It's just that somehow we are rebut and a bucket. Naturally. That's why we said, claim your sovereignty. Because them things are meant me a sovereign man. Because I don't know enough about these things. I don't do them things. And Babylon now allow honor for just walk in and do them things. Why? Because I can't pass the test and I can't pass the gate and I do not know the keys. But another life, I just throw it, give it up. Just throw me intellectual property and give it to them for free. And even when I do it subtly, I can't use it. Because Babylon knows that it not belong to them. As we go forward, we're going to get an opportunity to interact with some warriors who really in mind and stand up for truth. You know what I mean? And choose not to compromise on that truth. We're going to find some warrior like that. Yeah, man. And, you know, then we can demonstrate these things that we are doing. When me I do what Joel Jaguar do. You know what I mean? Now everyone we are dealing with, when me I deal with, I do as a side structure. And I just structure that way. Every individual have a structure that way. You get me? My house and my house. You have your house. Your house is your inheritance. That's your estate. That's your hereditament, not mine. I have no interest in yours. That's why I teach people to establish your house. Just like how me establish mine, and I use a machete and I chop out my way and I create a path. I can't tell you, say, boy, this is where I'm going to end up, or that is where I'm going to end up. Me I tell you, say, boy, I'm going to on the slave farm. But then we out there. Now me can ask you, where are you? And can you demonstrate it? If a police pull you over and say, prove you're not a citizen, how will you be able to do it? By showing him a government identification card? Just think about it, people. Salute Nicholas Johnson, Anna McKing, Limitless, Anna. Yeah, man. Yeah, them have to just check, man. Not take a word for it, man. Just validate the things that we have said, and then, you know, they are them can do their own thing. I mean, I come group up with me, and I don't have no interest in that. I demonstrate these things. Me not one of them insecure man that when you no gang or no group for step. I'm not one of those. I've never been that. Never been that. So it's never about that. It's about enough people having the information to effect that change. You understand? And I know grandiosity thing where me want to tell you something so me get rich and fat. And you don't know nothing at all, because me just tell you something, but you don't know nothing at all. Step by step out there. The brave may fall, but never yield. And we say bold and brave, firm and strong. My energy say, watch you now. Even though you ain't the trustee and thing, touch upon the real property and the personal property. Oh gosh. Me I forgot to save this for another time. Yeah man, and touch upon this thing. Yeah man. Then me I forgot express from personal property to the chattel, and you know, the real property represent land, you know what I mean? Or land law. So yeah, we don't want too much information on what people and get mental breakdowns. So other stages. However, we don't have a problem to express our knowledge out here. Saying and we're not going to discover say, how we present it separate and distinct from the colonized ones then. And it's so when you hear fee schedule, yeah, you know, yeah, them thing are the estate fee schedule, you know what I mean? When them are, you know what I mean? And them easily get set up and can get mashed up, but I'm telling you, say, we're not there to do that. You have people out there love to sue police, and no, and that we're there for. We're there to educate even the very public entities them so them can change the way how them operate out there and not deal with the law opposed to just some, you know what I mean, corporate policy where some bar member write up and a push out there as public slavery to make all kind of money and keep the populace enslaved. Honorable clarity out there, honorable clarification, step by step, step by step. Again, the brave may fall, but never yield. We say bold and brave, firm and strong, honorable clarification. May the Most High guide and protect the item in all the item ways, in all the item thoughts, in all the item desires, needs, goals, aspirations. Yeah. And as them go forward all the way, we just choose to stand in an integrity. You know what I mean? Yeah, if I even that's how we start. We just respect the, you know what I mean? The man first. You understand? Yeah, just respect the dignity within man and man. Nobody look upon when we might have on or all of these things. Nobody look upon my corporate capacity, say me attorney or me a police or me a judge. Or maybe it's a madman or like a dot. Just respect the human dignity within man and man or man and woman, and you know what I mean? When we say man, we mean man and woman. Make us start this and see it work out. Make us just start show respect opposed to the disrespect. That's all it is. Anyway, complete gratitude out there. Complete gratitude.